Alright guys, today's going to be an overview on supply and demand by yours truly. When looking at demand and supply, the big thing we want to look at is how it is impacted by a change in price. You can see the definitions of demand and supply here. Demand is the desirability and willingness to buy a product. So we're concerned here when we're talking about demand with the consumer. Okay, very important to understand that. Consumers who we're dealing with. Down below, you can see that supply deals with the production of goods in exchange to price. Okay, this deals with the producer. Okay, you gotta understand that difference. Consumer deals with demand, producer deals with supply. Both demand and supply have laws that we deal with. The law of demand and the law of supply. The law of demand states as price goes up for a product, the demand will go down. The law of supply says that as price goes up, supply will also go up. Okay? Why is that? Well, think about it. Law of demand. If gas prices start to go up, are you going to continue to buy as much gas? That answer is a no. So as the price goes up, less and less people are going to buy gas. On the flip side, the law of supply deals with who? That's right, the producer. As the price of gas goes up, you make more money, okay? So you're allowed to produce more. Law of demand, law of supply. Know the difference. Both the demand schedule and supply schedule can be graphed into a curve. So demand schedule is looking at the price of a product and how much will be demanded. So when we look at price, okay, we have 1, 2, 3. When we look at how much is demanded, okay, law of demand tells us that the cheaper the price is more. So, for example, we'll say 5, 3, 1 is demanded. So as the price goes up, over here, the demand is going to go down. We can graph that. Price always goes on the vertical axis. Quantity always goes on the horizontal axis. As the price goes up for the product, quantity is going to be down. So we're going to have a demand curve that looks like this. Supply is going to be the same thing. As we look at the supply curve and schedule, okay, price, and then how much quantity supplied, we're going to have prices again. So 1, 2, 3. As the dollar amount goes up, more will be supplied because the producer can make more money for the more that he produces. That can also be graphed into a curve. Price always on the vertical, quantity always on the horizontal. As the price goes up, quantity will go up. So our curve is going to look the opposite. When we put those two lines, okay, again talking about gas, when we look at the supply and demand curve on the same chart, you'll have a supply and a demand curve. Okay, so there we got price vertical, quantity on horizontal. Okay, demand again, which way did demand go? If we look 2 back, demand is going to go up the lower the price, so it's going to look like this. Okay, and supply is going to go down the lower the price. And we're going to have that right there. That is the demand and our supply. Where they cross, we call that the equilibrium point. Okay, and wherever they cross, that is the price that should be offered by the producer. Because at that point, supply equals demand, which is a good thing. Everyone is happy. Now, demand can change without a change in price. We call that a shift in demand or a change in demand. And why we call it a shift is because we will see a shift on the demand curve. Here's the reasons why demand can change. As you look on this snapshot here I have of our notes, okay, there's 5 reasons. Taste and preferences, we talked about fads. Okay, if there's a new fad, like a new tennis shoe fad because LeBron James wears a new tennis shoe, that tennis shoe is going to have a high demand for a short period of time because everyone's going to want to buy it. That's going to cause demand to go up. Price of related goods. Here we dealt with and talked about in class substitutes and complements. So make sure you go back and look at your notes for explanation on that. That can have a both effects, down and up. When we look at income, okay, people make more, they're going to spend more, demand's going to go up. They make less, they're going to spend less, demand's going to go down. The more consumers we have, again, consumers are people who buy products, the higher the population, the higher the demand. And finding expectations. The example I like to use in class is taxes. When I know my taxes are coming, I usually start to spend more money ahead of time because I know I'm going to have that paycheck coming. That's expectations. I know that I'm going to have money coming, so I spend more money right now. It also has a flip effect. I have a wedding come up in December. I know that's going to be expensive, so I spend less money now to save up. Okay, these are things that shift demand without a change in price. How this looks on our chart, okay, well, I'm sorry, here, let me switch to a easier color to see. I'm going to go white. Okay. Put price, again, always goes on the vertical, quantity on the horizontal. What does our law of demand say? Correct. It says that as the price goes up, quantity is going to go down. So our demand curve looks like this. Now, let's give a scenario from our last slide. Number of buyers. If for some reason there's a big population increase in the town of Barron, what's going to happen to demand? Correct. It's going to go up. But without a change in price, how does demand look on the chart? It looks like this. Boom, right there. An increase is going to show a move or a shift on the curve to the right. Now, the same thing can happen on a decrease. So my chart, okay, here is demand. Due to an increase, let's say that there is an economic recession and people don't make as much money, demand is going to do what? Correct, it's going to go down. A downward shift is going to look like this on the curve. We'll call that demand 2. This is a decrease in demand. The example I used was due to an economic recession.